doesn't obsessively watch her sleep and spy on her all the time? Is it even a romance? Probably because it was dragons, and I was like, dragons? What? Really? I'm a sucker for a dragon story. I don't know what it says about me that my comfort reads are all YA literature. Maybe nothing, maybe something deep and psychological. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. Today we'll be discussing all the books I want to read in the month of May. Okay, the first book that I want to talk about is A Promised Land by Barack Obama. I am currently 40% of the way through this novel. I'm listening to the audiobook, and I will say that I feel like President Obama's voice is very soothing to me. I like listening to it. I'm having a really fun time reading this and listening to this. But I like to listen to political novels that talk about things that were going on just in general, so if that's not up your alley, don't worry about it. You can skip this one. But I am really enjoying listening to him talk about his time getting elected, and then he's finally gotten to talking about his first month in the office, and I remember living through a lot of these events. Like he'll say something and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that. And I mean, I was in high school. I was in high school with the 2008 financial collapse crisis. And I really have no frame of reference for anything about that. So it's really interesting to listen to it and hear about it. And I mean, he's definitely pushing his own political agenda, but like, that's kind of why I'm here, is to hear that political agenda and to see, does this make sense? And then to balance that out with the other side. So a more conservative view of things and what happened, and I'm definitely enjoying this. It is freaking long though. This is 29 hours of audio, and it's going to take all of my focus to try and get through that in 2 weeks. Next we have Sense and Sensibility. I meant to read this last month and it didn't happen. It's okay because I had 2 months. Originally, I picked this up for the Affectionately Austen book club, but I haven't seen any updates from Darling Desi on this, so I don't know if the book club has been canceled. I don't know. I'm hoping not, because I missed it, if so. Anyway, but just in the off chance that it hasn't been canceled, the book is Sense and Sensibility, and I really want to participate in that and enjoy it. So the goal is to read it and listen to it, and I just love Sense and Sensibility to begin with, so that's my plan. This story follows 2 sisters who are forced to move out of their house after their father dies, and they have to deal with a new house. They have to deal with noisy neighbors. They have to deal with handsome neighbors, and all the little problems that get entailed and entangled in Jane Austen. And this is currently my favorite Jane Austen novel, but that's why I'm reading all of them, because I don't actually know, because I haven't read all of them yet. So now, I'm a huge mood reader, and I am 100% in the mood to read old, familiar, cozy things to me. So I'm not introducing anything new, basically, for another month, I feel like, because all the things I want to read are all of the YA from the early 2000s. Basically, I feel like, I don't know, I just want to be immersed in things that I know, and I know what's happening, and things that are cozy. I don't know why that is, but that's the way it is. So first up, Eragon. My husband is currently reading the series for the first time, and I have never finished the series, so I figured, yeah, I'll try it. We'll jump a little bit into Aragon and see how I feel about it. This is a story about a boy who finds a dragon egg, and the dragon hatches for him, and he quickly has to flee for his life because the government in his world wants another dragon rider to help enforce the laws of the kingdom, and he's going to have to choose whether he's going to join that government or try and align himself with the rebels. I read this book a lot when I was a kid, and there's a lot of nostalgia involved and wrapped up in it. I know a lot of people really criticize the writing of this, of Christopher Paolini, but I was so young when I read this novel for the first time. I was 9. Young. I was really young, and I just loved it. Probably because it was dragons, and I was like, dragons? What? Really? I'm a sucker for a dragon story. So it just sounds really cozy to snuggle up in the world of Aragon again. The next book is The Hourglass Door by Lisa Mangum. I love this series. I consider this the less stalker, no stalker. This is the better version of Twilight in my mind. This story follows Abby Edmonds, who meets a mysterious stranger who claims to be a time traveler in her high school. And guess what? We have a romance where there's no stalking. He keeps a respectful distance. He listens to what she wants. Doesn't obsessively watch her sleep and spy on her all the time. Is it even a romance? Pot shot of Twilight. I'm not sure how many times I've read this series. 5 times maybe? It's been a while though. I really remember loving this series, and I really just want to be in this world again. And speaking of good old Edward Cullen, Twilight, I've technically only read the series once, and after reading Midnight Sun, I was like, man, I kind of really just want to be in this world again. I don't remember a lot of the details, and is it as bad as everyone says it is, or is it as good as the other half of the people in the world say it is? And I am 100 pages into this novel right now, and I'm enjoying it. I don't know how I feel about that, but I like it. So, I mean, there are a lot of problems with this novel. I will be having a review of Midnight Sun pop up later on my channel, and I'll be discussing my thoughts more there, but oh, this book. And you know what? There's just a part of me that is totally okay with the idea of spending 2,000 pages on vampire drama. Like, that's the kind of mood I'm here for all of the angst and worthless drama that's completely separate from myself. That's yeah, I'm okay with that right now. There are definitely times in my life when I'm not okay with that, but it's not this time. Next, we have The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This story follows Katniss Everdeen as she is picked and forced to compete to the death against 23 other candidates for the enjoyment and pleasure of the capital, her government. I read this book for the first time a year ago, was obsessed. I only meant to read for a little bit and then finish the book at like 2 a.m. in the morning. I loved it. I loved the series. I loved the movies. And I haven't revisited the world yet. So this is me looping around and reading it again. I'm just excited. I just am excited to reread things that are familiar to me. I keep saying that, but it's because it's true. Next we have Vampire Academy, Book 4, Blood Promise by Richelle Mead. This book follows Rose Hathaway as she quits high school and decides to go chase after a, he's not a coworker, compatriot, that's not the right word either. What is the word I'm looking for here? Comrade, a fallen comrade who has been changed, altered by the evil vampires of the world, and she's trying to change him back, or she has to decide whether she wants to kill him, because that's the wish she would have asked for if he were in his right mind. I've read this book before, but only once, again a year ago, and out of the Vampire Academy series, this one was my least favorite, so I'm interested to revisit it and see if those opinions still are there. And I will say that out of all the books I have on this list, this is the bottom. I'm interested, but I'm interested in other things way more. Next we have Divergent by Veronica Roth. This book follows Beatrice, who goes by Trish, as she comes of age in her society and has to pick one of 5 camps where she wants to live, based on her dominant personality trait. She also has the added challenge of displaying a personality trait that is highly hunted and sought after to destroy by her government. I've only read through this series once, and the first book I read when I was really, really sick with mono during finals week because I couldn't do anything else, and I loved it. I loved this book. I didn't like the other 2 books nearly half as much, but I remember really, really loving this book, and I'm interested to see what my thoughts are revisiting this, 7 years later. I watched the first movie, and I really liked the first movie, but I haven't seen any of the other movies, And again, I don't know. I remember really, really hating the way this series ended, but I can't remember most of the details now. So we also have The Penultimate Peril by Lemony Snicket. This is the 12th book in a series of unfortunate events, and we follow the Baudelaire orphans as they disguise themselves as hotel staff in order to spy on the convention for VFD and Count Olaf and try and gain information before Count Olaf does. I was 10 the last time I read this, and my only real memory of this novel is the fact that there are twins, and they're identical, and one of them works with VFD, their secret society, who trying to do good, and the other is against VFD, trying to set fires, and the novel makes it very clear that you can't trust who is who, and I don't know why that stuck out of my mind, but that's what stuck out in my mind. And lastly, we have The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book in the Stormlight Archive. I read this book for the first time less than 6 months ago. It's my reread of this series. This world just feels very atmospheric, very cozy. It's set in a world where there are massive storms that circle the earth every couple days, and if you're outside in that storm, you'll get killed. And our characters start to discover that there are magic powers associated with this storm, oddly, and they have to band together to try and prevent an apocalypse. I expect that this reread will take a long time because I'm going to take it really slow. Plus, there are lots of other books that I haven't recently read, so I will probably prioritize those over this one, but I am just really excited for the lineup of these books. I don't know what it says about me that my comfort reads are all YA literature. Maybe nothing, maybe something deep and psychological, and I feel a bit defensive about that, but also, like, I just want to be comforted and cozy, and I don't know what in my life is driving that factor, but that often happens to me where I have times of intense newness where I'm reading tons of new novels, and then I'll swing to the other side and be like, nah, I'm just going to read all of these and see where we go. I also could see that, because all of these books are either in the middle of a series or the beginning of a series, and so I pick one and go, I'm just going to hang out in this world for a while and finish the series. And I'm okay with that. We're just going to ride this train out and see where it goes. And without further ado, I will talk with you all in the comments down below and in another video. Bye!